Our speaker is Martin Collings. Martin is from the sales in airline, IT, standalone services, travel intelligence. Long way to go. He has worked in the post-internet distribution field. He is currently involved in producing products from Airline robotics. A product that automates direct channel back office processes. Frequently people in exactly do what has and what hasn't worked, and for both suppliers and airlines to work successfully together in the future to maximize ancillary revenues. Over to you, Mark.
Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for your time this morning. I appreciate the invitation from the organisers to speak here. It's been a very interesting conference for me so far. When putting together this presentation for today, it got me thinking about the huge opportunities for all of us in ancillary revenue. And it made me think that the quote that there's three types of people. Okay? There's people who make things happen, there's people who watch things happen, and there's people who say, what happened? Now, just like being at this conference and being in this room today, clearly when it comes to ancillary revenue, we're in one of those first two categories. But the opportunities in this space are so interesting that the people I really want to address in this presentation today are those in that first category. Those ancillary revenue professionals for airlines who really want to be the ones who make things happen. The opportunities are enormous in this field. A few of the things that I want to cover today. First of all, just very briefly go over why this is such an interesting area to be in and what the opportunity is. But also why I see so many airlines that haven't yet got it right. The opportunity for improvement here is massive, and I think that's good for the people in this group here, that people who work in this field, is there are a lot of interesting things that you can still do to improve your conversion rates on ancillary revenue. I want to talk a bit about the challenges for airlines and the challenges for vendors in selling to airlines. And there's only one thing you take out of this presentation today, okay? There's only one thing you remember. Make it be this late buy, early buy continuum that I want to talk about, because I really think that if you can apply that to the way you're selling ancillary revenue, you will really increase your conversion rates significantly. And finally, a little bit on innovation, how to be an innovator, and where I see some of the future opportunities for innovation in ancillary revenue services. As I mentioned at the top, this is an area that, in some ways it reminds me of the internet for airlines back in maybe 2004, 2005, even up to 2006, when I was seeing some major airline websites growing PNRs booked at 50% year on year. Now those types of growth rates have disappeared, but they're still available to people in the ancillary revenue area. So I don't think that, from my experience, any airline has yet mastered ancillary revenue generation. But this, maybe there'll be some who disagree with me, but maybe you want to look at my next slide first. Latin America showed a number of carriers in 2009 projections up over Europe, the numbers are going up. Worldwide, I see UBS predicting 0.8% growth in 2009. And your pricing power is disappearing. Available seat kilometres are going up. It's a tough environment to be in, but there's some good news. Oil prices are falling, but best of all, ancillary revenue will increase significantly. The way I got into this whole ancillary revenue space was I used to work with the airline websites for delegates, and we've got, I think, over 18 customers these days. And then I moved into the back office areas, so trying to make the manual handling of P&Rs much more efficient by automating those processes. And once we put that platform in place for automating all back office functions, we saw it was fairly easy to extend that platform into other areas. So we extended into the call centre space, monitoring average handling time and staff efficiency, we start working P&Rs on queues, but also we got into the ancillary revenue space because we had all this data on all the P&Rs of the customers, and we saw that for our airlines that what we could be doing was we knew when you were travelling, who you were travelling with, how many people you were travelling with, how many days you were staying at that destination. We didn't have to do extra hits on the host system to find that information out, and it was very, very easy to send targeted offers to people with existing ancillary revenue products, either Amadeus or from third parties, whoever the airline tells me to work with, I'll do what I'm told. But the opportunity there to target the customer when they were more likely to buy had massive benefits for the airline. And that's the point that I'm really trying to get across today. Fuel surcharges are dropping, and they'll continue to drop as oil price drops. That revenue has to be made up from somewhere, and I can tell you where it's going to come from. It's the people sitting in this room who are being told to find more and more ancillary revenue. Your airline's looking for you to make up a lot of that gap, because in this environment, it's not going to come from increased ticket prices. And this chart, I don't expect you to be able to see the names of the airlines on the chart, but it's really just showing that the airlines in the top right-hand corner are the ones that don't have much room to move financially. In an economic downturn, they've got high debt, they've got an older fleet. When you go to your boss with an ancillary revenue generation proposal, something innovative idea, it better not contain a massive upfront capex, because in this environment, it's not going to fly. You're being asked to do more with less, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we face in this ancillary revenue space. There's so many innovative ideas out there. There's so many things that can be done better. The real challenge is to pick the ones that will give the biggest bang for the buck. Now this is the what I mentioned earlier, the late buy, early buy continuum. If I look at that orange line in the middle of the screen, that's basically from when the person first books the P&R to the time that they fly. Now if I look on the left-hand side, I see the airline view. These are the touch points that you as an airline have with your customer. The customer comes to your website or your call centre and they book a rejection flight. They'll book a leisure flight. They'll receive a confirmation email. They may come back to the website to service the P&R and so on. But on the other side of the screen, I've got passenger behaviour. This is what passengers are doing in the lead up to the flight departing. And guess what? They may not be doing it on your website. This is pretty obvious. But you have got such a rich amount of data on this customer. You know that customer made that booking, and yet if you're not actively targeting that customer when they're looking to buy, they're not coming back to your website, then your conversions on ancillary revenue will be significantly underutilised. You will not be achieving maximum results if you're only thinking the customers are going to buy ancillary revenue when they're in the booking flow